Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Engine Builder Show. For today's topic, I want to ask you, do you know the 30-day rule and how it impacts your business? Stick around and find out. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and enjoy the show. Good morning, everybody.
There was always a ton to learn. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. This is episode 126, which is pretty crazy because this might be one of the longest running shows I've ever done, and definitely the longest that I've ever done, where it's been every day during the week. So I appreciate you taking time to tune in, and I'm grateful that you're willing just to invest a few minutes with me today. If you're watching live, if you get to listen to the podcast later or watch this recording later, thank you for investing the time. It means a lot to me. And my goal is to always show up and serve you well and give you as much good advice and support as I can as it relates to marketing, entrepreneurship, and really just, leading and growing, whatever business you're in. And so just like Jethro said, I want to talk to today a little bit about the 30-day rule. And I first heard of this a few years ago when I read a book by, I believe it's Jeb Blunt, and it's Fanatical Prospecting. And he talks about how in sales, in most cases, and there's different sales cycles for every business, but generally speaking, in sales, you are reaping the rewards today for what you did or did not do 30 days ago. And so there's always results. There's either the results that we want or there's the results that we don't want. And when it comes to sales and revenue in a business and growing something, especially when you're in that sales role, which many of us are as founders, when we're creating a company, we're the first salesperson, we're the first, project manager, we're the first everything. We wear a lot of hats at the beginning. But even as your company grows and scales, I believe that getting into the millions, you're still going to be, you'll still have the opportunity to be responsible for a lot of sales and drive a lot of business, depending on your focus and your structure in your company. But with sales as the example, and we'll touch on some other ones as well, you can look back 30 days and you can determine, almost always why you either have the results you have today or why you don't have the results that you want. And it really comes down to the fact that there's not a ton of instantaneous, results that we can get. But more frequently, we get results from the things that we invest in consistently on a daily basis. And so if you're stuck, if you're not feeling like things are moving, if revenue's flattening, or, you're not hitting targets or goals, whether it's in a sales perspective or even in a, project management standpoint or delivery of products and services, or even in looking at your personal health or your personal relationships, across the board, I think it's effective to use this 30-day rule and say, okay, well, what was I doing 30 days ago? And were those small actions adding up to the result that I wanted to have today? There's plenty of times for me where I look back and say, no, like this isn't quite where I want to be, or these aren't the results that I want to have. And so when I see that, it reminds me that I can't expect the results that I didn't work for. A friend of mine, George Bryan, always says that, and I think it's actually a quote from his friend Jim Quick. But don't expect the results. Don't expect results from the work you didn't do, I think is the Jim Quick quote or something like that. But really, it's important for us to remember that we can't expect results. We can't expect to be making tons of money, get all these results, be happy, be in great shape if we're not willing to put in the work to get there. And just like when we're consistent in getting up on time, drinking water, exercising, being intentional about what we're putting into our body, in a matter of just a few weeks, 3-4 weeks, about that 30-day mark, you'll start to feel different. You'll start to feel better, and you'll have a positive change in your life and in just how you're feeling and your health. The same applies in all areas of business. When we show up on a consistent basis and we do, what we do, just that level of consistent effort on a consistent basis every day, that's when we're going to see results. And so I always ask my clients, those that I get to coach and team members and those I get to support, I'll say, what could you do on your worst day? what's the minimum effort you could still do on your worst day, whether it's reaching out to new people and prospecting and selling, whether it's coaching your team and helping them deliver better results, or if it's being encouraging and saying something kind and supportive to your partner. If you can do those things consistently on a daily basis, all of those little efforts stack up to the big result that you start to reap again around that 30-day mark. And so having that mindset, taking that approach of saying, what can I incrementally do on a daily basis that's going to move things forward, is so much more effective than thinking, oh, I'm going to make this heroic effort one day or for a couple days or even maybe for a week and then expect to have this long-term payoff. That's how it works, because one, we can't sustain heroic efforts, and two, it's consistency over time that builds results. In marketing, we know that, and it really varies by audience, and it's even more than it used to be. But we know that if you can put your name and your brand and who you are in front of your prospective customers 7, 14, 30 times, and just somewhere in there and be really consistent, then when they have the need, they're going to reach out to you. And so it's not always a one-to-one measurement of like, oh, I'm going to show this ad and somebody's going to click through and buy from me. That does happen, but it's in such a rare case compared to when you show your ad, when you show up, when you keep educating and serving your audience, when you keep emailing your list, when you keep showing up and posting value. When you do that over time, you become the default option that somebody's going to go to because you've consistently shown up, as compared to the person that could spend thousands or even millions for one day of effort. And then they would get some traction, they get some people to see what they were doing, but they wouldn't get that sustained, persistent effort that comes from really just disciplined, focused marketing. And so learning to be proactive on a daily basis when it comes to your health, your relationships, how you're selling, and showing up and prospecting for folks that you want to serve and help. Being consistent in the marketing that you put out there through social media, through traditional channels like radio, television, direct mail, and back in digital with email marketing and Facebook ads, and putting content out there that search engines find. When you just incrementally add on things that you can do consistently, that's when your marketing snowballs and you get amazing results. When you incrementally and encourage somebody and invest in the relationship and are there for them consistently, then they'll trust you more and the relationship blossoms. When you invest in a team member on a daily basis and over the weeks and over the months and over the years, you'll get a great return. It's what we do on the daily, every day that really makes a difference. Those daily habits are the things that drive us forward. And so if you're happy with your results today, this also applies. You can look back and say, man, things are going really well. So what was I doing a month ago that I should keep being focused on, that I should keep investing in? And like we talked about earlier, if you're not happy with your results, then say, okay, what was I not doing a month ago that, ultimately led to me not having the result that I want today? Those are the types of things that we can observe and reflect on, and then we can choose to change our behavior. So my encouragement to you today is look at what's working and look at the habits and things that you've been doing there. Look at the things that are not working and look at what you need to replace on a daily basis, and with something new and proactive that's going to move things forward. And just set a target that's, in a sense, so low that you can hit it on your worst day, but you can hit it consistently. That's the difference between somebody saying, oh, I'm going to work out and, do all these things, and they go to the gym for 2 or 3 days and then they quit, or somebody that just gets up and takes a 20-minute walk every day and drinks more water and does little incremental things that make a big difference in the long run. In health, our relationships, and business, it's all about what we can do on an incremental daily basis that's going to move things forward and help us grow. So I hope that's useful to you. If you need help with building a marketing snowball that gets bigger and bigger and bigger and continues to attract your ideal customers, we'd love to speak to you. You can reach out at businessmarketingengine.com, or you can comment here or message me, and I'd love to help you. So I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's show, and thanks for being here today.